What's up, guys? This is my Wookie Catamaran, and this is the second iteration of the model. I created a model last year. I'll put the image right here, and as you can see, it is far less detailed, while this one is a complete rework while keeping a lot of the structure the same, while reworking a lot of different aspects of it to just create a more detailed, a more accurate, and just a better display model. So let's just get right into it. I want to start off with what I did here with the hose. That was on the first iteration as well, but it was only this hose piece. What I added were these clips that could send out these bar pieces along with this clip piece to simulate the netting on the ship in the source material. And it just hooks in right through here. And then something else I did was I actually detailed out the seats far more. So if we remove the seats, or if we remove the figure, they are tiled off here, and I really like it. And each figure sits in pretty snug. They fit perfectly. It's moving on to the side. I really enjoy the details here. Almost looks very cushiony with these 1x1 tile round pieces. And then we move on to the side here. I wanted to simulate more of that, like netting, more of all of those ropes running throughout the ship. So I used this cattle horn piece along with this clip, and it starts under here, and it just connects there. It doesn't really connect anything, just here to simulate, some ropes running throughout the ship. Moving along to the back side. This is something I redid. I redid this section. I made it thinner, and then I added these long clip, like horn pieces, scythe pieces, and they can easily go up and down so they can flutter like the actual ship. And then something I completely redid here was these back pieces. I saw that in the source material there are these sections here that can open up. Okay, if I don't break it with one hand, but you get it. There's these sections here that can open up, and so let's say if that side is closed and that side is opened, it'll glide to one side. It just helps with the directional power of the ship, and that is something I wanted to add, so that way you can manipulate both sides, so that way the ship can turn whichever way you want it. But even though we all know the real way that you could turn whichever way you want it is by picking it up and going like this. But let's move on to the engines here. This is one of my favorite reworks because it was a little tough trying to figure out how I could make it more accurate and far more stable. So I used this driving engine type of piece along with cones. I really wanted to use these, I don't know what it was, these graded 2x2 round bricks. I could have just used simple circular, or the smooth ones, but I really wanted to use these graded ones. I felt like it just gave it more detail. And then something I needed to do was, in the source material on the actual ship, there's this tri design that they have going on. So I had to figure out how I was going to do that. And then I realized there's this axle connector and extender piece that goes on 3 sides. So I put it throughout the bar, and then I was able to achieve the look of having that part that sticks out on each side 3 times. Moving on to the top part, or the middle section here, to show you some of the detail. It's connected through a axle connector. I believe that's number 4 here to give it the angle. It's a number 4 angle. And then it's just connected with a 2x2 circle brick. Move along the back side here. Something that is a bit of an illegal technique is this hose. It runs throughout here. It goes on the underside here, and I have to remove these pieces here to connect it into there, but that's how it stays in place, and then it runs back here and connects back onto there. And finally are the little piston engine, I imagine the section of the ship that pretty much powers these. Not exactly sure, I just know it looks accurate, but I have 5 of them here, with the first one lifting up just a tad bit more, and the first 4 all flush with each other. And I'm really happy with this design because I used this inverted curved slope to give it a bit of that smoothness on the underside. And that is just about it for this Wookie Catamaran. Aside from this, I also modified this. That was the final thing, actually. I modified these antennas to make them a bit longer. It used to just be this all the way down here, and then I realized that wasn't long enough. It looked too short. It stopped at about right here. So then I added a bar with a pin, and then I put them on top of it, and that really gave it the length I feel like it needed. But yeah, if you guys are interested in building this, I posted a rebrickable. It should be up within the next day or two, and if you're watching this a week from now, a month from now, it'll definitely be up. But check it out. I put the instructions up for free for this model. Now, the cost for it, I don't know. It can vary. It depends on how many pieces you already have, especially with some of these pieces right here, like this long 2x16 like wedge, maybe goes around $2 to $3. Other pieces like this color is rare right here, which is why I only have 3 of them, and the other 3 are in dark gray, which I need to replace. But for the most part, everything should be a relatively cheaper price. You know, an average price for a Lego brick. There's just a couple expensive pieces here, and I would say you can make it anywhere between 50 to 80 bucks. Depends on how efficient you are with buying your pieces, how many pieces you already have, but that's my guess. I believe Rebrickable is going to tell you like 100, but you could definitely find a way to do it for cheaper. But yeah, this is my model, and appreciate you watching. Bye.